And so this is kind of a bonus. It's less pithy, but just kind of something to be thinking about. So I wanted to talk about the whole concept of certifications, largely because social media is so new that there are people who might want to transition into the industry who didn't go to school for it. And there is some technical knowledge to be known and some theoretic knowledge to be had about social media. So this is kind of the areas where I would suggest someone consider a certification of some kind. In the first instance, you did not go to school for social media specifically, but you have some type of background in marketing or public relations, or you have writing background, and you want to find a way to transfer those skills into social media, and you aren't sure how to do that. And so in that instance, I would suggest you look into the certification programs at different universities, because those will give you that foundation. And it'll also help pretty up your resume in the eyes of the social media people that are hiring, because it'll show that you've taken the time to get some additional education about social media. So if you are in an industry where it's communication oriented, but it's not social media specific, and you want to transition, then I would suggest you look into certificate programs, certifications that are offered by a university, or some type of institute of higher learning. Now, in the other instance, you can certify in specific elements of social media. Like, for example, I am Google Analytics certified, and I'm going to maintain that certification because it benefits me, because being able to understand analytics is very valuable. So I wanted to get that certification, and I took the time and took the classes and took the tests and etc. You can also certify in specific platforms. I know that Facebook is going to be offering a certification, I think toward the end of the summer. I didn't get a set date, but I went to a Facebook event, and if you go to facebook.com/blueprint, there's a lot of courses on there that teaches you how to use different parts of Facebook. So if you're trying to understand Facebook better, that's a great place to do it. And when I was at the event, one of the ladies who work with Facebook was telling me that they are creating a certification program to get people certified in different areas of Facebook, and that you can take the classes for free, and then you have to pay a fee to take the test to be certified. But I would suggest, if you are thinking about using Facebook for any type of social media marketing, you should go to Blueprint, sign up, so you can have access to the courses, and then you can kind of keep checking back when it comes to the certification. There'll probably be, maybe there'll be an announcement. I'm not sure. Facebook doesn't always announce everything in grandiose fashion. So I would just say keep your ear to the ground for the next couple of months. And I very likely will do a scope about it, because I think that's super valuable. So I'll do a scope as well, but I suggest you sign up. So you can do like classes and things to become an expert or certified in specific things. Another certification program that's out there that's specific, you can do one through Hootsuite. And so I think that kind of certifies you on the platform, and probably kind of general marketing practices. You can also be certified through HubSpot. HubSpot is another tool. Hootsuite and HubSpot are both social media management tools. So you can be HubSpot certified, you can be Hootsuite certified. So in those instances, I think that type of certification is beneficial if you want to be, if you want to use those tools and you want to make the most of those tools. Also, if you want to learn some best practices and learn some theories as it relates to a specific tool or a specific platform, so that you can be better steeped in that particular one. So certifications aren't for everybody. That's not something that I would suggest just like across the board as a way to learn social media. Really, for that, if you have no background in social media, no background in communications, then you will definitely need to you might need to do more than just take a certification, because you will need to do what I said in the first video, where it's like figure out the skills that you have that you can offer, and then look for the skills you don't have, and then find ways to amp those skills up. So I don't suggest, if you have no background in social, no background in marketing, no background in the communications, business communications area, then you will definitely have to do a deeper dive in order to be able to transition into social. It's not impossible. It just requires a little bit more legwork on your part. But if you have a general background, then I definitely say overall social media certification. If you want to specialize in certain areas, then I would suggest the ones, going to Facebook Blueprint, learning more about Facebook, and also Instagram, because it's all kind of rolled up in there. If you want to learn about analytics and get better at using analytics, Google Analytics is a great certification to have. If you are going to be doing any work with advertising and online advertising, specifically Google AdWords, you can become Google AdWords certified, and that will, teach you how to use AdWords for business. And a lot of businesses are starting to understand the value of online advertising, and Google is kind of, I say Google is the man, essentially, because Google is everywhere. And so being Google AdWords certified would be super helpful for you as well. So, and what I would say about certifications is, I don't think you should run out and try to get certified in all the things. I think you should be strategic about the certifications that you get, because they're time consuming. They're not, it's not hard. Really, like for me to do the Google Analytics certification, I had to do like 6 modules of classes, and then I had to take a test. And so it took me about a month. And I wasn't doing it I didn't treat it like a class. I kind of was in and out and, working on it as I could in the middle of working on the projects and working. So it took me about a month to, take all the classes and then take the test and that. So it is a time commitment. And so I don't think you should sink your time into something if it doesn't make sense for you strategically. Like, I'm in the process of trying to decide if I want to do the HubSpot certification, because I'm not sure. And so I might, but I'm still debating. So I haven't done it yet. And I know, and there are a couple of places where I want to look and see if I could find a way to certify, really as an additional, bit of insight on my resume. So what I would say, if you're trying to decide if you want to be certified or if you want to look into certifications, then think about your audience. And by your audience, I mean the people that you want to hire you. And if getting a certification will make your resume more attractive, or make your portfolio, or make your, presentation and your pitches more attractive, then yes, I say pursue a certification. One thing I will suggest though, because if you do a web search, if you just do a Google search, or Bing search, or Yahoo search, we don't discriminate on search engines here. If you do a search about social media certifications, you will find quite a bit of them. Because it's such a new space, there are a lot of, there are companies and organizations that are offering the certifications. What I would say for you, just to ensure that you don't end up paying for something you don't have to pay for, the first place I would say look are schools. So universities, colleges, schools of higher education, technical institutes, just, a place where there are other degree programs and things. Those are great places to check for certifications. And they'll have an air of legitimacy. The second place are institutes. And by institutes, I mean, there are organizations created that are there to create best practices and provide a foundation for particular areas. And if you want to go through an institute, what I would suggest is finding an institute that's been around at least, 20 plus years, or in the whole instance of social media, at least been around since, earlier in the 2000s. So if you find an institute and it's only 3 or 4 years old, I personally would tread lightly. And I would look for an institute that's older. At least, I like to try to find institutes that are 20, 25 years old if possible. If not, then at least 10, 15, if not more. And I do a thorough, read through of the website, see if you can find do like a web search of the institute's name and see if you could find any articles about it, any outside sources that aren't directly linked to the institute. Like look for some ways, and then look at the curriculum for the certification and make sure that it makes sense and that it's something that's going to benefit you. So do your due diligence there. Also associations. So, there are professional associations out there where they might offer some type of a certification program. So look for professional associations. That's a tongue twister. That might have, certifications that you can take. Or another thing you could do is look for professional associations and see if they suggest any certifications, because they might, oftentimes they offer tools and resources to their members, and they might say, hey, here's some great certification programs if you want to be specialized in this field. And since social media is a part of marketing in this instance, then what I would suggest is look for professional organizations that are marketing oriented, and either like digital marketing, interactive marketing, things like that. So you can find like larger overarching marketing organizations, like you have the American Marketing Association, you have the Association for Interactive Marketing. I think that's what, because it's called AIMA here in Atlanta. It's Association for Interactive Marketing in Atlanta. But I think they might have other chapters, I think. But you definitely have the American Marketing Association. You can check the Public Relations Society of America. I'm not sure if they have a digital part. I haven't been poking around their site, but you could check it out. I would say you can check the, I'm drawing a blank, but just look for marketing organizations. I would say go there and look and see if they have like social media, digital, online element to that, and then see if they have certifications. Because if there are different social media organizations, but they tend to be newer. So, for me, if I'm going to pay money and be certified in something, I want to make sure that it's something that if someone sees it that isn't in the industry, it'll be something that they have either heard of or that rings a bell in some kind of way. So if it's like a really new organization, it might come off as, made up credentials. So don't want you to do that, but that is my suggestion. So I wanted to just kind of quickly, I'm gonna wrap up, just kind of chat about the, certifications and why that would be valuable. So like I said at the beginning, if you are thinking about getting a certification and you have absolutely no experience in marketing, communications, or social media, then I would suggest actually going to look at the very first video that I did, where it was like, so you want to be in social, start here, and go through those steps to get a better idea of what your skill set is, because you might have to do a little bit more than just get a certification. But if you have a background in communications, public relations, marketing, advertising, anything along those lines, and you want to kind of hone your specialty in social media, then a certification for you would be ideal. And I would say you should start with a university, so an institute of higher learning, university, college, or an institute, or like a technical institute, and then go to associations and other institutes. So like when I'm saying institute of higher learning, I mean like a place where they offer different degree seeking programs of a variety of kinds. They offer a variety of kinds of degree seeking programs, and they happen to have a certification in social media or digital marketing or whatever. Now you have these institutes that are organizations that are created around a specific subject area. And if you wanted to go that route, then look for something I try to look for something that's 20 years old, if not older. Just because it's been around, they tend to have some best practices. They've had time to tweak and, make their curriculum more valuable. So go that route. And then the last place will be for associations and organizations. So that is my really quick spiel. It's not really quick. That is my insight about certifications when you want to get into social media. But really the biggest thing, the main thing I want you to remember, if you want to work in social media, you must commit yourself to ongoing education and ongoing professional development. This is not an industry where you can kind of set it and forget it. This is not a place where you can just like go to school, get a degree, and then start to work and then just kind of keep going. This is an industry where continuing education is important. And continuing education in this space is everything from staying up on the latest blogs to going to conferences to, you know, being abreast of different platforms. Like, there's a lot of places that you have to kind of keep your eye on. And I want you to keep that in mind, because that is important, valuable, and if you don't do it, you will lose your ability to be effective in this space.